Hello, Sean here with a quick review of the Soundcore Motion X600 by Anker. Full disclosure, I received this device just a few days ago as part of a promotion with a trade-in speaker that Soundcore was putting on. They selected 50 users to do that. So despite it being a short period of time, I did put it through its paces as much as I could in order to get a review out by the 7th as they requested. So without further ado, let's get into it. Right out of the gate, I wanted to talk about what came in the package. It came in just the box, which was actually well packaged within some styrofoam within there, better than some of the other devices I've received. The box itself, the speaker, a USB-C cable, a quick start guide, and a warning sheet. Pretty bare bones right out of the gate for a $200 speaker. I would kind of expect it to come with some type of a power brick. This can only charge at 15 watts. So, to have a low wattage USB brick, I would feel like would not add too much to the cost of it and would go a long way. But regardless, that's what we're at. As far as the design of the device goes, I really enjoy it. I like the handle that comes with it. It's super convenient. It seems kind of gimmicky at first, but it really is quite nice if you're taking it different places, different rooms and whatnot. Obviously if you're not going to be moving it around or using it just in one stationary location, this is just going to take up space and have more weight on it. But, as a portable Bluetooth speaker, I did enjoy that during the testing process. I like the soft touch kind of rubberized plastic that's on top as well that you have with a lot of other Anker and Soundcore devices. Just in general, just to be able to see the top speaker there. All the design, the honeycomb type of design is very, very nice. And you have the connections in the back, which you would want to have if you're going to be presenting this, say in a kitchen or a bathroom or what have you. Under the flap here is where you get your 3.5-inch and your USB-C connections here, and that's a very strong connection. And it was very good that it had a strong connection because of the waterproofness tests that I did that you'll see in a little bit. In general, I like the design of it, and I'd like to see Soundcore move more in this direction with their Motion line and other speakers that they have. One somewhat nitpicky item I have with this device does have to do with the base of it. You can see that they have little feet here. The problem with these feet is they are very, very narrow and they are not very deep. I would have loved to see this to be much wider, even probably double or triple the size, mainly for this reason. It is not overly stable. So again, if you're sitting that on a kitchen table or a bathroom sink or anything like that, then it's going to be okay. But if you have any children like I do who might be running into tables, that's not great. So I would love to see them widen that out or figure out a way to put more weight in the base of it because it is a little bit top heavy for whatever reason. I'm assuming the way the driver's oriented along with the top there, but something to keep in mind.
In addition to reviewing the X600, I agreed to compare the X600 with another speaker, in this case being the Motion Plus.
All right, so I have a Motion X600 on the left and a Motion Plus on the right. I wanted to show you how much of a size difference is between these two speakers.
The Motion X600 is just a tad under 4.3 pounds, significantly heavier than the Motion's 2.3 pounds. The X600 was clocking in right at 83 decibels at max volume using the default Soundcore EQ, in comparison to the Motion Plus clocking in right around 61 dB. In comparison of the two devices, if you do not care about the volume difference or the aesthetics, the Motion Plus makes a compelling argument at literally half the price at $100. Just depends on your needs and use cases, but for me, I believe the X600 has the value there to have a more expensive device. The initial setup of the Motion X600 was super simple. It immediately connected to Bluetooth without issue, and the initial app setup was very easy as well. In the app, just click the connect button, and then at the top right, just click the gear for settings. And from there, I always check the firmware first, which came up to date. Hit back, and you can see the rest of the settings. The auto power off setting there, I left at 20 minutes. However, you can see where you can change it to whatever you want there. And then at the bottom, you can click user manual. And then you can go ahead and hit back and get to the equalizer. It comes with Soundcore signature by default. However, you can change it to whatever you like, which I did end up making my own custom at a later time. In general, the app is very easy to use. Anchor claims a 6-hour charge time from zero, and in my testing, that is accurate. Anchor claims 12 hours of playback at 25% volume without bass up on, and in my testing, that is accurate. I got somewhere in the ballpark of 11 hours and 45 minutes during my initial testing. On the other side, with a bass up profile, I got 8 hours of playback at 50% volume. For me, this seems to be the sweet spot. Anything above that, you can start getting some compression, although I never did get any type of distortion out of the speaker, no matter what type of EQ I put on the device. Against my better judgment, I decided to go ahead and test out Anker's IPX7 rating for water resistance. The first thing I did was sit my speaker out during a rainstorm. It rained off and on for about 3 hours. With my family, with speakers outside, I could see this as being a very likely scenario that someone might forget one of the electronic devices outside. So that was the first part of my test. The second part of my test was related to actual immersion. I throw this in some water and let it sit there for roughly 2 minutes. And after draining out the water, letting it sun out, everything played fine. I even had this submerged and playing the entire time. I can see this happening if you have it poolside or if you have it in the kitchen next to the sink, which is most likely for us, and it performed beautifully. The purpose of buying the speaker is, of course, audio, and I wanted to touch on that a little bit. I'm pretty impressed with the size of this, the bass response, and the clarity. The spatial audio is no joke. To my ear, and everyone is different, it really pushes the high mids out that speaker to the point where it can be kind of overwhelming for me. So I end up lowering that side down on my EQ and boosting up some of the bass and leaving the sub bass down at flat. This gave a more rounded sound to my ears, and for rock music that I typically listen to, it allowed the bass guitars and kick drum to come through without it all being rhythm guitar, for instance, coming through with the high mids. But I will say it does give a very neat effect, and I'm very pleased with the sound. So the $200 question is, would I recommend this device? And I would have to say it depends. If this is something that you are going to be using every day, you may be taking it to different rooms, then I would recommend it even at the $200 price point. It's one of the most elegant and nice sounding speakers I've ever heard for a portable speaker. Now, if it's something you're going to use on occasion or you don't need the volume, then the Motion Plus makes a good use case for literally half the price at $100. So it really just depends on your needs and what you're looking for. Overall, I've been very happy with the device. I wish I had more time to spend to test it, but I didn't see any glaring flaws with it. And I want to thank you for watching.